So number 13 is asking us to solve for x. So it says solve for x. And what we need to remember is they've given us an equation where x minus 5 over 6 is equal to 1 over 12. So x minus 5 over 6 is equal to 1 over 12. Based on what we've learned about making things the subject of the formula, what we need to do is to first of all realize that we can add 5 over 6 to both sides, and then by doing that we get x by itself on the left side. So when we add 5 over 6, that will essentially make this x is equal to 1 over 12 plus 5 over 6. Now that's not the answer, that's not the end. We need to be able to deal with fractions, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all that, or fractions. So we need to be able to add these two fractions. One of the ways that I've found that works for me, I learned this growing up in high school, is you put a line and then you write down a number right here. This number that you write should be a number that allows for both denominators to go in too. Okay, they need to be able to go into this number. The thing that makes this tricky is you don't just want a number. So for example, I don't just want to say 36. I want the lowest number possible that can go in here that would allow these two numbers to go into it. So in this case, the number would be 12, because 12 can go into 12, 6 can go into 12. So for adding and subtracting fractions, here are some things you need to remember. Number one, you find the number, in our case is 12. So find the number or the lowest common multiple in question. Now that number allows these things to go in. The other thing you need to remember now, which is step 2, is you take the denominator. The denominator is the one on the bottom and the numerator is the one on top. You take the denominator and you put it into the number that you found. So 12 goes into 12 once. So you take the denominator and then you put it into the number that you found. And then you get 1. So 1. Now you multiply what you get after you take it into the denominator. After you take the denominator into the number, you multiply that by the numerator. So you need to remember that the one on top is numerator, and the one on the bottom is the denominator. And so we take 12 into 12 once. 1 times 1 gives us a 1 on top. Okay? So 12 goes into 12 once. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 goes into 12 2 times. And so if 6 goes into 12 2 times, we now take that 2 and we multiply it by 5. And so that gives us 10. So that gives us 11 over 12. 11 on the top and 12 on the bottom. That remains. You need to remember how to do this. Let me just give you another quick example of using this method. What you need to remember for half plus half is that the common number now, the common number that we're using would be 2, because 2 goes into 2. So 2 goes into 2 once. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 goes into 2 once again. And then you multiply it by the numerator, you get 1. So it becomes 2 over 2. Because 1 plus 1 is 2, and the denominator remains the same. So 2 over 2. And we know that 2 over 2 is the same thing as 1, because 2 goes into 2 once. So that's how you solve that problem. Let me show you number 14 on the right side here. Number 14 is talking about factorizing, which we talked about earlier. But let's take it step by step again, just so that you begin to understand how to do problems of this type. When they give you an expression and they tell you to factorize it, what you need to do is to find two numbers, okay? After you find your AC, remember your AC is the coefficient of a squared and the constant, which is c. So you take AC, and the answer in this case is 12. AC is 12. We want to find two numbers that when we multiply them together, they would give us 12. And when we add them together, they would give us plus 7, because that's our B. So the first step is to kind of know, you need to know what your AC is and what your B is. Now you write down the numbers that can be multiplied to give us 12. So for example, 12 times 1 is 12, but 12 plus 1 is 13. And so we don't want that. We want 7. So now we go to the next set of numbers. Minus 4 times minus 3 is plus 12, because a minus times a minus is positive. but minus 4 plus minus 3 is actually minus 7. Now let's go to the one that would work. What about 4 and 3? 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So we know that that's what we need to solve our question. Now, what that does is that it helps us now to rewrite this expression. Now we're going to rewrite this whole expression. But wherever we see 7a, we're going to put in the two new numbers we found with a's next to them. What do I mean by that? 6a squared plus, so this 7a now can be broken into two numbers, 4a plus 3a plus 2. This is what we get, the next step. Remember, this 4a plus 3a can become a 7a again, but we don't need that for now. I just want you to remember that was how I got my 4a plus 3a after I used the AC method. Now 6a squared plus 4a plus 3a plus 2 is what we have. Now you can factorize by grouping. What you do is you look at the terms, find out what they have in common, and take it out. 6a squared plus 4a, find out what that has in common, and then look at the same thing on the right side. So on the left side, 6a squared plus 4a, we know that 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. And we know that an a can go into a squared, and an a can also go into a. And so we take out a 2a. All that is left is 3a plus 2. Whatever you rewrite this expression as, you should be sure, you should be able to calculate it back so that these things give you 6a squared plus 4a. And so we take the 2a out and we have 3a plus 2. That's what we have there. Now, this is the first thing you're doing. This part, the only thing you can take out from 3a plus 2 would be a 1. And so now, essentially, we have 1 outside plus 2. Now we have 2a, and then there's a bracket with 3a plus 2 plus 1, and then 3a plus 2. When you look at these two, you should be able to see something that we can take out. What we can take out is 3a plus 2. So we take out the 3a plus 2, and all that we have left is 2a plus 1. That's all we have left, and at this point, you look at it, and you're done. If you were to multiply this out, it will give you back what we started with. You need to study this carefully and see. Try examples, and I believe that it will make more sense.